This summer, Natural State Wrestling is taking over Arkansas. Get ready for hard-hitting action, jaw-dropping moments, and the wildest nights of wrestling you'll see all year long. That's right, on tour, NSR is my house now. That's right, bring the family, bring your friends, and get ready to scream. Championships will be defended, grudges will be settled, and legends will be made. Natural State Wrestling Summer Tour, don't miss it. Get your tickets now before they're gone. Yes, sir, Elijah Dobbs. Text or call at 501-380-5734 or email naturalstatewrestling@gmail.com. Be there! Attention wrestling fans, do you want to watch every WWE premium live event no matter where you are in the world? Well, I've got the ultimate tag team partner for you, Surfshark VPN. With Surfshark, you can unlock content from anywhere on the globe. What this means is no more block streams, no more restrictions, just wall-to-wall action. Imagine catching WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series live no matter what country you're in. And here's the best part. By using my affiliate link, which is tinyurl.com/, it's VPN STS Talk. You'll also score an exclusive huge savings plus an extra 3 months absolutely free. That's right, 3 bonus months of unlimited access, total online privacy, and the power to stream every WWE pay-per-view like a true champion. And don't get counted out. Hit the link. It is tinyurl.com/, it's VPN STS Talk. Go to that link and make sure you never miss a single second of the action again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step in the ring with pain relief. When back pain, neck pain, and stress tries to body slam you into the mat, there's only one tag team partner you can trust.
Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. The champions of chiropractic care. With a dedicated team of professionals, they're not just adjusting spines, they're adjusting lives. Whether you're battling aches, pains, or just need to feel like a brand new you, Vitality Chiropractic has the moves to get you back on top of your game. Personalized care, effective treatments, and a commitment to your health and vitality.
You don't have to tap out to pain. Pick up the phone. Dial 870-523-2225. That is 870-523-2225, brother. And schedule your appointment today. Vitality Chiropractic serving Jonesboro and Newport. Step in the ring with pain and walk out a champion of health. Vitality Chiropractic, because your spine deserves the main event.
1, 2, 3.
Are you ready? Every Friday night, the heat rises in Arkansas. The lights go down, the crowd gets loud, and MCW takes over. This is live, hard-hitting, in-your-face action at the MCW Arena, West Kaiser in Osceola, Arkansas. Doors open at 6:30, bell time at 8 p.m. sharp. Rivals explode, bodies hit the mat, and the stars of MCW leave it all in the ring. This ain't just wrestling. This is MCW. Tickets on sale right now. Don't wait. Be part of the action. Follow MCW on Facebook for the latest updates. And be there every Friday night. Or hear about it later. Card subject to change. Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time, or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid. The best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more. Because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne, John Cena, sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes some serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Cassette Wrestling News, a comprehensive look at the world of professional wrestling, featuring the latest news from all wrestling organizations, updates on the wrestlers themselves, commentaries and contributions from wrestling fans all over the world, plus interviews with the stars, comments from John Seaton, and much, much more. We hope you enjoy this edition of Cassette Wrestling News. And now, here's your host, Jeff Osborne.
Hello once again, wrestling fans. Jeff Osborne here for issue number 62 of Cassette Wrestling News. Thanks, Lisa. And we got the Owen Hart interview to play, as well as many, many other things. I am Jeff Osborne.
This is Sean Harvey.
Okay, I'm here with Sean and Harvey, and we're going to offer you our...
for the whole show this time.
We're going to offer you our insights on some of the hot topics in professional wrestling. But right now, we're going to go to none other than the editor of Wrestling Then and Now. Here is Evan Ginsberg.
Hello, Cassette Wrestling News listeners. This is Evan Ginsberg, editor of Wrestling Then and Now. I'd like to respond to Vicious Vince De Palma's last Cassette Wrestling News appearance when he defends the WWF and subsequently attacks yours truly. Now, I recently watched a WWF card on the MSG network. Thank God I didn't pay to see the show. In the opening match, Kerry Von Erich beat Big Bully Busick. It was as if I was watching two rhinos in heat, a negative 2-star disaster. In the second contest, IRS and Davey Boy Smith went to a 20-minute bore that was probably the longest 20 minutes short of a torture session in a third world jail cell. This was painful. After 17 minutes of non-movement, there was a minute and a half of some high spots and good action, and then they both collapsed in exhaustion. This was pitiful. The third match saw Jim Neidhart, the most overrated wrestler in history, against the Mountie. I don't think I need to say any more about that. This was 1 hour of my life flushed down the toilet. So, when Ric Flair and Roddy Piper stepped into the ring for the fourth match, I was pretty numb and trying to fight to escape the coma I was lapsing into. Nonetheless, it was an exciting match, a good brawl, but nothing incredible like earlier Flair Wyndham or Flair race contests that I saw years ago. A good solid 3.25 star match, which in no way, shape, or form saved this show. Believe me, I'm the biggest Ric Flair fan in the world, but he cannot save the WWF. The next match saw the Big Boss Man and Colonel Mustafa in another stinker. This was followed by a Vince De Palma dream match as Hercules met the Matador. Oh boy, those WWF fans were roaring for that one. And finally, Hawk and Animal faced Buffoon and Milkshake, the Natural Disasters. Boy, oh boy, another classic. I'm sorry. Oh, I did skip one other decent match, which was Bret Hart against the Berserker. A watchable 2.5 star match. So basically, in 2.5 hours of wrestling, we got about 30 minutes of entertainment. As I said in my previous Cassette Wrestling News appearance, I would not walk around the corner for a WWF card. And after seeing this, I stand by my words. Vince, I just wanted to let you know that I'm excited for you because Jim Dugan is appearing in the next Nassau Coliseum main event. Get out that styrofoam 2x4 and go ho to your heart's delight. It's going to be a big night for you, pal. Anyway, this is Evan Ginsberg, editor of Wrestling Then and Now. And if you'd like to read about when wrestling was great, pick up my newsletter at Post Office Box 471, Oakland Garden Station, Flushing, New York, 11364. Only $1.25 for a sample, $15 for the year. Thanks again for having me on Cassette Wrestling News.
Thank you, Mr. Evan Ginsberg. I hope to meet up with Evan again in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, January 25th, 1992. let's move on to some
Maybe
news.
we could talk to him a little more this
I
time.
know. Right now I want to talk about, Evan spoke about how wrestling used to be good. I watched The Clash, and I was surprised. The Steamboat, Dustin Rhodes versus
Anderson.
Yeah, Arn Anderson and
Zbyszko.
Larry Zbyszko was an excellent match. I would give it 4 to 4.5 stars, possibly even 5.
I would go as high as 5, Jeff. 4 3/4, but not much more than 4 3/4.
I'd probably just give it about 4 stars.
Dude, let's move on here.
Okay.
This was, in my opinion, an excellent match. As Jim Ross even pointed out, we haven't seen wrestling this good in a couple of years, or something along that line. It reminded me of 1989, and 1989 was not a bad year for professional wrestling. You had Rick Steamboat, Terry Funk. You had both of these men taking on Ric Flair. You had Lex Luger in the spotlight, and wrestling was damn good in 1989. And this match gave me that feeling. And if you look back at the New York Knockout, which is a Clash of Champions, I don't know what number it is, but it is the best show that WCW or NWA has ever put on. But, you know, when you realize it and see Jim Herd bringing in Rick Rude, Rick Steamboat, and we see these good matches, I don't know if it's good or bad, because maybe Herd will get re-signed.
Let's not tempt fate, Jeff.
I don't know. Right now, Evan Ginsberg was speaking of Vince DePalma. We're going to go to Vince DePalma right now.
Once again, wrestling fans, this is the Vicious One with my wrestling commentary. First off, I'd like to know if that traveling DDS, Mike Lano, could do some bridge work for me. Or do I have to pay toll, Mike? Knowing the way you hate me, you probably would rip my gums out. But you are a gas, Mike. You drill me with information about Japanese wrestling, and you certainly cap off each issue of CWN. Why is everyone coming down on MC Hammer? I don't think he's that bad, certainly not as bad as Dave Meltzer is saying. I just got finished reading Jerry Lawler's interview in the Torch Annual with the Evolution of Pro Wrestling theme. Jeff was mentioned in the interview as Lawler identified him as this guy who puts out an audio newsletter. Jerry also complained that Jeff was handing out observers at the matches in the Evansville Coliseum. Wade asked Lawler what he thought of the sheets. Lawler, of course, said they were detrimental to the industry. Wake up and smell the coffee, Jerry. The promoters have exposed the business more than any sheet ever has. Vince McMahon testified before a New Jersey State Senate subcommittee that wrestling is fake. Hulk Hogan goes on TV talk shows and says wrestling is nothing more than entertainment. And WCW audio equipment picks up the voices of WCW wrestlers calling moves to each other. And the sheets, which are read by only 5,000 hardcores across the country, expose the business, Jerry? It's time you opened your eyes. I admit Ric Flair is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. However, his inability to draw huge houses leaves him as a doubtful candidate to oppose Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania next year. This is evidenced by only 6,000 fans coming to Flair's first Madison Square Garden house show match versus Roddy Piper. Flair's act is old and stale, and he must change it or be relegated to mid-card status in the WWF. Heard the WWF's latest find, the Cajun Giant, is even worse than El Gigante. Although everything eventually runs its course, Vince McMahon's WWF is still the only game in town. Are the regional promotions ever going to make a comeback? It's too close to call to say yes or no. But if the other promotions around the country want to compete with Vince, the Turner people, Vern Gagne, Joe Pedicino, and Jerry Jarrett should band together to form one large national promotion. Of course, this was tried back in the mid-'80s by the Crockett's and Vern Gagne, but haggling over whose stars were going to headline put a quick halt to the effort. If these men put their egos aside and thought about the good of wrestling, maybe Vince would get a run for his money. Oh, and a personal note to Evan Ginsberg. Please, Evan, buy a tape recorder, a good tape recorder, so we can understand what you're talking about. Till next time, this is the Vicious One saying goodbye, good wrestling, and sayonara, Mike.
And now we like to hear Jeff's comments on this Lawler situation.
Well, I could say a lot of things, but I still respect Jerry Lawler, and I know Lawler has got this in his stereo right now on his way back home from the Evansville Coliseum, because I'm going to personally hand him a copy of this. And Jerry, I want you to know, if these marks or whatever that we're so-called exposing the business to, if they were marks at all, they would not believe us anyway, and they would still be coming to the matches. And the sheets only reach 5,000 people, and I don't think all these 5,000 people are in this area. If it wasn't for the sheets, I would not be paying week after week to come and see the USWA shows here in Evansville. I do it because I respect wrestling. I know what wrestling is about, and I just love it in general. And I go out of my way at WWF shows to recruit people to come and see USWA shows. And I had this, I'll tell everybody right now, I had this college night planned out for the USWA. I could have had at least a few hundred more people in the building, but they refused to work with me. Nobody got back to me or anything. All I want to do is help professional wrestling. And when I was a kid, I was in diapers, and I remember the first wrestler I seen on TV was Jerry Lawler, and he was a heel then, and he was a heel up until I guess the late 70s. And I was thinking all in first and second grade, I want to grow up to be just like this guy. And this is true. Yeah, you can do that over there, but I am dead serious. I wanted to be just like this guy. I respected this guy more than I did my dad. And I have bought every Jerry Lawler record album. I bought Jerry Lawler's picture book, which, by the way, is an excellent piece. I have tons of Jerry Lawler pictures. I have almost every single Lawler match known to mankind. And if I'm exposing the business, then why do I have all this stuff? Why do I buy all this Lawler stuff? I still buy Lawler stuff. I don't know why. After he cussed me out and yelled at me in the parking lot, which, it was a big misunderstanding anyway. And I want to ask Jerry Lawler right now, if he doesn't, I'm holding a lot of things back. And if Lawler, I know he's listening to this. Jerry, if you're listening to this, call me 812-425-5460, because next issue, if I don't hear from Jerry Lawler, I'm really going to let a lot of things fly. It's not going to be personal. It's going to be on a professional level. I just want to let Lawler know this. And I still respect Lawler. He's got to be the best interview in the business. But some of the things he said, and that thing was totally slanderous, because I have never, ever handed out sheets to any mark. Nowhere. And what Lawler was doing, Lawler was talking to Wade Keller. Wade Keller was at SummerSlam handing out torches to people standing in line. Marks. I did not do this to Marks. I did not even know Eric Embry was the booker until I read that interview in the Torch. And as far as some girl asking you if Eric Embry was a booker, I don't even talk to any girls there. I don't need to. And all I'm asking is just for you to give me a call. That's all I'm asking. I'm going to end it right there. If Lawler doesn't call me, if he doesn't call me, he doesn't call me. But next issue, I'll work a few interviews with some people, and we'll get them on Cassette Wrestling News. And well, that's all I'm going to say. But right now, let's move on here. Barry Orton, the brother of Urban Cowboy Bob Orton, as he's now called in the American Wrestling Federation, is going to attempt to sue WCW over the Van Hammer gimmick. It seems Barry O came up with this gimmick some time ago, and he does have legal proof that he did. Now, Barry Orton can wrestle, as Van Hammer can, kind of. And Barry O actually plays the guitar, and he's one of the most underrated wrestlers going today. And I hope he wins, to be honest. And I want to talk about the snake angle. Randy Savage has lost a considerable amount of weight. He's down to about 185 or 190 pounds. And I got to say, the snake angle came off brilliantly. Person in here is shaking her head.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent.
What's your opinion on this? Have you even seen it?
Harvey?
I haven't seen it, Jeff.
Okay, it's an angle. We have a bad opinion over there, but
she doesn't matter.
I was talking to a wrestler the other day, and all these people are griping in the sheets. Angles are same rehashed crap. And a wrestler quote, I'll quote him, "It's not too often you see somebody get bit by a damn cobra," which is legit true. Who gets bit by a cobra? I mean, I've seen people get bit by snakes, in fact, in my own house, but never a cobra.
Well, it just proves that Randy Savage loves his profession. To go through with something like that, even though I haven't seen it, I've heard about it from several people, and that when the snake had a hold of Savage's arm, there was no way anything could have happened, and Jake was literally trying to wrench this snake. I don't even know if it was really playing, Jeff, because it looked like that Jake was really frantic trying to get this snake off.
But you haven't seen this yet, Harvey.
Well, I lied.
Come on. I want to say that Jake Roberts came off as the ultimate heel on this angle. He's not a big roid boy or anything. And when the snake was looking him in the eye and Jake Roberts was smiling, this was a picture worth 1,000 words. Yes, little kids were crying.
All right.
I loved it.
Which made it even more convincing. But I really enjoy this angle, and the only angle that I see taking this gets my vote for angle of the year, and second and third in line would be the Lawler car smashing of Billy Travis. That was very convincing, as well as the Eddie Gilbert turn. That's got to be the best, 3 of the best angles this year. Notice 2 out of the 3 are Memphis. Like we were talking about last issue, just imagine if Jerry Jarrett got in WCW, these angles would probably actually draw money.
Well, they might want to take a lesson from this angle, Jeff, that includes Jake Roberts and Randy Savage, because if WCW would pull off some angles like this, really pull some off, like the Rick Rude angle, that was a great angle. Bringing Steamboat in, that was a good angle to bring him in. It's getting back. I'm not getting my hopes up, though, because I know Mr. Pizza Man will probably disappoint me again. But it's angles like this, angles from the Memphis Classic generation. I mean, we're talking late 70s, early 80s, that'll really get the blood boiling in professional wrestling again.
I see these, this is totally off the subject, but I see these Domino's commercials on TV, and I figure if I start off as a driver, I can become the president of a major wrestling organization.
You don't want to do that, Jeff.
Okay.
I don't know. It might work out. You never can tell. You're that, a trash man.
Well, I hear Domino's is highly associated with Nazis, so I wouldn't do it.
The opinions reflected by Harvey are the opinions of Harvey alone, and not necessarily the ones of Cassette Wrestling News. Let's go to the Owen Hart interview.
But I think there's enough fans that are diehard fans that want to see good wrestling, and I think that are tired of just the same old stuff that's been going on. The short matches and the same old routine. It's everyone's seen too much of it, and I think this is a new style that it's long overdue to be shown in the United States. But it's one that it's trying to grow right now. It needs sun and water and nurturing, and if the crowd doesn't, if they quaff it before it gets a chance, then it may never ever happen. Because you get a guy like Liger, who's so used to getting awesome responses. As soon as he hits the ring and does one thing, he's used to getting a reaction. And he might not be as patient as some of us who, he might get in there for 5 or 6 minutes and just find, geez, they're not getting any reaction. And before you get a chance to hook the crowd, because you got to build on it and get their attention, and they could be fucking around, not responding to any of your moves and all that, and if they don't, then someone like Liger might just get discouraged and say, and just when he's building up, and before he gets a chance to really captivate him, he just says, they're not getting into it, and then just it could be a breaking point in the match where it could either go really good and get the crowd, or just at that point you just get discouraged and say, geez, I'm giving them all this stuff, they're not reacting, and then you just go back to a basic hold and just kind of stink the place out, and then they say, geez, that Liger was no good, So, but in my opinion, I don't, as much as I like to please the crowd, I'm not going to change the style of the match, It's kind of like it's their tough luck, I'll try to go out and give them a good, solid match, but if they just want to say boring or, geez, this is not very good, I want to see blood and guts and all that, I'm not going to go out and do that just to appease them, because then I'm just compromising my style, and that's the good thing about having that New Japan style is it's a unique style, and you just kind of got to dictate to them what you want to do, and if they don't want to accept it, then they're not really worth converting your style for,
Do you think maybe with the cycles that wrestling's going through and with all the glitz and glamour you mentioned, do you think eventually it's going to get back to the more quality wrestling as opposed to the show?
I really don't know right now. Wrestling's at a touchy state. I hear so many rumors about WCW is really sinking, and I think it's been revived a little bit with Ric Flair going to Titan Sports. From what I've spoken to the people in the States here now, it's kind of given them a new life, and they're talking about all the options of Ric Flair could work with the Steamboat or Bret the Hitman Hart, or even he did great matches with Kerry Von Erich years ago. They sold out Texas Stadium. There's different combinations for Flair, and of course the obvious one, Flair and Hogan, which is one that's just significant because it's one that everyone's compared. The two champions, battling, and so it could be an interesting match, and it might kind of rejuvenate wrestling a little bit. But I personally miss the days of the old, where you had maybe 20 promotions. You could go to Portland or Dallas or Kansas City, or Canada was thriving, and all a wrestler had to do was a phone call away, just I'll call Stu Hart in Canada and get booked, and you always had steady work, but now it's become a drought, and I'm grateful that I can go internationally and be one of the few independents that can work all year round and not feel the crunch, But I do pity some of these guys. There's some guys at the show last night that, they get in these training camps, they get trained, and then they don't have, it's like going to school and getting an education, and then all of a sudden you can't get any work anyway, and you got this training that you've spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of dreams about, and then it's really discouraging because you can't, you're just stuck not doing anything, And so I pity them because there's not a lot of work. You can't just call up Stu Hart in Calgary or Don Owens in Portland or whoever, Von Erich in Texas or whoever the promoters were then, and get work. It's not like that anymore. So these guys end up being jobbers on TV and just actually demoralizing themselves worse. And it almost seems to work against them, Then they're hanging around looking for whatever scraps, whatever work they can get, So I wish that there was a few more promotions that were starter-up promotions, say, that could give these guys a chance to develop and become better, and then finally get a big break,
Is there ever a chance that you will team up with Bret? Everybody knows you've been as the Blue Blazer in the WWF. You talked about restrictions with a mask. What type of restrictions were put on you in the WWF? And again, if we ever team up with Bret?
Well, for me, I'd love to tag up with Bret. He's one of the most highly respected wrestlers, I think, and he carries himself well in and outside the ring. He's from the fans' point of view, they say, "Geez, your brother Bret's really great, and he had the best match at SummerSlam." Or he's always, you very rarely do you hear him having a stinker match. So for me, it'd be ideal to tag up with him. Outside the ring too, Bret carries himself. He's respected around the fans, and you never have to worry about hearing some stories. Your brother Bret was drunk and he smashed the window out or beat some guy up. He carries himself well in and outside the ring. So for me, I'd love to tag up with him and do like to do some business. But right now with him being a singles champion, I think that's something that he's longed to have. He's had tag titles, but this is something I think he's really wanted. It really shows that only Bret and nobody else is the champion, and he's earned that. So I wouldn't want to step in the way of that. But I don't know what I had heard some rumors about my other brother-in-law, Jim Neidhart. Bret had asked me about tagging up with him and doing a new Heart Foundation, but that's nothing concrete. It was just a thought of Bret's, and Jim had considered it and all that. But that again is something that I'd have to really think about. In some ways it's better I get to be myself, Owen Hart, which is something I'd like to do. And Jim is somewhat already established as Jim Neidhart, so I could go in there and right away we could, within a few TV tapings, they'd say, oh, that's the New Hart Foundation. I think they would understand us, quick enough and not say, gee, I can't remember what are those guys' names, They would see Jim right away, and then they'd say, oh, it's Brett's brother or something. But there is a drawback in being, oh, that's Brett's little brother, geez, he's not as good or something, he's not, I like the original team better, that's what people say, because I've seen imposter teams where they have, they used to have Davey Boy and Dynamite were the Bulldogs, and then I think Dynamite took some time off, and Johnny Smith, who's a fine wrestler and all that, and was probably in better health at that time than Dynamite. His back was healthier and stuff. And he was a big guy who could work pretty well, but people just say, oh, no, it's not the original Bulldogs. It's another guy. It's Davey Boy and some other guy, And that does happen, and I don't want to be... I think I could stand alone without having to be compared, or being told that somebody else, this team is better or something. So... ideally, I'd like to just go in his own heart and just go from there and see if I can stand on my own. But I don't think there's always got to be a hook. You got to have something. You can't just go as an own heart. You need, some kind of gimmick that is eye catching. And this point in time, there's nothing. It's hard to think of anything that's original anymore. Whether it's blowing fire out like a dragon or. Coming in with makeup all over your face, or having there's just so many different things that guys have for ring entrances and all that. It's like, man, what can you do to outdo this? There's too much stuff, so I'd have to rely on tagging up with Jim and get my foot in the door that way and get established.
Any closing comments to everybody?
Well, I guess. I don't really know what to say, just other than whatever support they have. I always appreciate. Last night I ran into a lot of people who had positive input about the match and the tapes that they've seen from New Japan Wrestling, and so a lot of people would say, you probably don't want to hear this or something, but I watch the New Japan tapes all the time and all that, and I'd say no, I always appreciate hearing any input because it builds just more information for me, and it's good to know that when you're out busting your back, doing all these things in Japan, that somebody is watching it and appreciating it, I better get that phone.
Thanks a lot, Owen.
Okay, guys.
Thanks very much, Owen Hart, and for giving us his time. And that was the final segment of the Owen Hart interview. And just when Owen was really getting into the interview, the phone rang and the Japanese were knocking on the door, and he had to go to Joe Goodhart's luncheon, which, by the way, I heard was excellent. And hopefully we will be speaking with Owen again, but I don't know. Sources tell me that Owen is going to the World Wrestling Federation, as he just spoke of. He may be reforming the Hart Foundation with Jim Neidhart, as we heard, but...
No, I'd rather see a Bret Hart, Owen Hart brother team, because if you look at it, you've got Owen Hart, high-flying wrestler, Bret Hart, extremely talented technical wrestler.
The excellence of execution.
Right. I think that would be the only team in professional wrestling today that could keep up with the Steiner brothers.
That was one of my dream matches, the Steiners versus the Harts. But even better, how about Owen versus Bret, huh?
Incredible match.
I would pay a lot of money to see that.
You'd pay a lot of money. Never mind. It would be a very hearty match.
Well, I don't have a lot of money to pay, so it really wouldn't matter.
We're going to turn the tape over.
We hope you've enjoyed Side A of Cassette Wrestling News. Now turn over to Side B.
Back here on the second side of CWM, we're going to be going to Dr. Mike Lano very shortly, but Harvey has a piece of news that came off, was it today?
No, it was Tuesday off the AP wire. Let's see. Dateline, November 26th. Injured referee says pro wrestling didn't follow script. From Atlanta, a pro wrestling referee who broke his neck in the ring is suing, claiming the 1989 bout didn't follow the script. Thomas M. McClay said wrestler Wildfire Tommy Rich mistakenly tripped him during a World Championship Wrestling match at the Center Stage Theater. McClay is seeking more than $25,000 in damages from Rich and Center Stage. McClay said the script called for Rich to push the referee to divert McClay's attention so Rich could be thrown out of the ring by his opponent, which doesn't make much sense for all you wrestling fans. Instead, the lights went out and Rich tripped McClay, who fell headfirst into the ropes, according to the lawsuit filed in state court. Rich was unavailable for comment Monday, said Barry Norman, spokesman for World Championship Wrestling, a TV production of Turner Broadcasting. An attorney for Center Stage refused to comment. Asked whether wrestling matches follow a script, Norman said, "It's the age-old question of, is it fake? And nobody in wrestling, including me, is going to give you a straight answer on that." End of story.
This is garbage. If they even had half a brain, they would admit that wrestling, anybody who says wrestling is fake has never been in the ring. I've been in the ring. I've got a concussion.
I've been in the ring with you, Jeff.
And he took a power slam. A good one, too.
All right, come on. But anybody who says that wrestling is fake has never been in the ring. And speaking of this, you work at the local newspaper, Harvey, and here is this idiot right on the front page. Was it on the front page?
It was on the front page of the sports section.
This idiot, well, I'm not even going to comment. I like to challenge this Chuck Fields, associate sports editor for the Evansville Courier, to a wrestling match.
Evansville Press, Jeff.
Who cares? Same damn newspaper. Just read the highlighted pieces that you highlighted for me.
Try to watch our comments, Jeff.
All right. I apologize for that D word.
Okay, here we go. Chuck starts out, "For all you readers out there who have a firm grip on reality, please allow me to apologize to you in advance. This column is not for you. No, this is written for a relatively..."
Let's just calm down right there now. See, I got a pretty firm grip on reality right now. I mean, come on, man. Give me a break. Hey.
Okay.
Hey. Continue, Chuck.
This is written for a relatively tiny cross-section of humanity. That is, for those people who fall into all three of the following categories. Number 1, you believe that professional wrestling is real. Number 2, you currently are more than 3 years old. And number 3, you are less than completely insane. Yes, those of us here at the newspaper know all about it. We know that the World Wrestling Federation is coming to town Saturday afternoon with the feature match pitting champion Hulk Hogan against Ric Flair in what is being billed as the WWF title match. And we know that for over a decade, millions have been waiting for this match because the ad, which ran in this very newspaper, said so, and truth in advertising regulations do not allow even the slightest exaggerations in these matters.
It's true, though. I've been waiting a long time. I think everyone has.
I've been waiting for a very, very long time.
This idiot does not know what he's writing.
I
think there have been millions of fans waiting. He just don't realize it.
There have been. It's been written up in all the wrestling magazines that people not like us buy all the time.
I buy them. Nothing wrong with it.
I've bought a couple.
Okay, well, anyway, it's been written up in those magazines, and everybody has been waiting for this match. And he obviously doesn't know what in the heck he's talking about. Okay, let's go on. Jump down to... However, for those of you who have called the press to ask for information about Championship Day at the stadium, let me reiterate, no, you will not read about the event in Monday's sports section. Why? Because as my 4-year-old son informed me while watching a WWF promo on television last weekend, this isn't even real. It's just pretend. Think about that for a minute.
Whoa, hold on. If John Seaton were here, he'd get a ball-peen hammer, and you know what he'd do to that little kid.
He'd track down this little kid, and Chuck Fields.
But let this little kid get in there and give a suplex. Let him take a suplex. Then he can say it's fake.
Well, also, he's been raised on the WWF, Jeff. He's never seen Memphis wrestling like we have. All he's ever been exposed to is WWF. He's 4 years old. You got to give him a break, because that's all he's ever been able to watch.
I'd like to give him a break. Go ahead.
But then there's Chuck. But we're getting into that later.
Yeah. It says, think about this. Here is a kid who remains convinced that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will someday require his services, yet he knows this isn't really wrestling, it's wrestling. Just a show, a choreographed dance routine. And after seeing Ric Flair's picture yesterday, I'm pretty sure I remember him co-starring with Noel Gray in the Broadway production of Cabaret. That comment right there really pissed me off to no end. I can't believe that this guy who has no knowledge, no former history of Ric Flair, has not watched his career progress from beating Harley Race for the first time for the NWA World Wrestling Federation. Oh, I'm sorry. I confused the two names. Slap me in the face, Jeff.
Can I?
Oh. Anyway, after beating Harley Race for the first time for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, all the way through his now signing with the World Wrestling Federation, the guy has no knowledge of any type of wrestling things. This guy, obviously, as you said before, has never taken a suplex or a body slam or a pile driver or a power bomb or any other of these moves that would totally kill this piece of garbage. I'm sorry, I'm getting really mad, Jeff, because I have to look at this guy every single day, and he always got this grin on his face like, ha, I wrote this column, and you can't do a thing about it.
To quote a wrestler, the power of the pencil. I would like to, if I were the Sheik, I would take this pencil and I would jab it in this guy's forehead repeatedly.
Maybe we can hire the Sheik just to do just that, Jeff.
I would love to. Continue.
Okay. One of the last couple things is these are large, bad actors in shiny diapers and nothing more.
This guy needs to be raped. This guy needs
violently raped, Jeff.
This there was no call for that line. He is saying that these guys are not athletes. Every person who steps into the ring is an athlete, and anybody who wants to argue with that, tell that to Terry Funk. Tell that to a guy like Scott Steiner.
Stan Hansen.
These guys will...
Ric Flair.
Terry Gordy.
Yeah, Terry Gordy. These guys will knock this guy's head off and play kickball with it.
Absolutely. And he can't honestly say that, because to get in a ring and wrestle a 60-minute and over match sometimes, Flair's gone over 60 minutes.
With constant movement.
Constant. Very few rest holds have I ever seen in a Ric Flair big match, hour-long match. It's unreal the kind of stamina these guys have to have, and this guy calls himself a sports writer. He does not know anything. I'm not saying that this has to be considered a sport by sports writers in newspapers, but I myself
But I think we should at least give it a fair shake.
Yes, because it takes a hell of a lot of ability to do this kind of stuff on a consistent basis, night after night.
Now, I've wrestled in high school, and I've wrestled in the ring, and believe me, they're both very, very tough. There's really a whole lot, that it takes out of you.
I've heard, Jeff, from a pro football player who turned into a professional wrestler. He said that playing an NFL football game did not take as much energy as wrestling a 45-minute match with Ric Flair.
I conducted an interview with the illustrious Johnny Stewart, former AWA star, and he said the knocks in professional wrestling are much worse than professional football, which that tells you something right there. But let's forget this pencil-pushing, pencil-neck geek.
One more thing. This guy also said in this article, he makes a reference to our wrestling, the Memphis area stuff. He says, no longer can you find the ample-bellied, big old country boy stars of years past, guys like Jerry Lawler. I don't seem to remember Jerry Lawler ever being ample-bellied. Do you?
Yeah, Jerry used to weigh about 20 more pounds than he does now. But
he wasn't like Kamala or anything.
No.
Well, I've got a comment for Chuck here. It's just, Chuck, just remember, pain is temporary, pride is forever.
Good line. All right, we're going to go.
Good line. Where'd you come up with that? It's right here on my shirt.
Oh, it's what's it say? Central High School Wrestling. Oh, okay. Folks, I originally intended to play a piece from Michael Joy advertising a raw footage wrestling tape, although I'm having difficulties with the tape. Michael, it was a Kmart tape. Come on. Send me a new tape in, Michael. I'll be glad to play that. And from what it sounds, this is a very good raw footage tape with a lot of action. And we'll bring you up to date on some of the matches on that tape in the next issue. Please, Michael, send me another one. Speaking of Michael, how about let's going to Dr. Mike Lano with his wrestling report.
Fans, this is a piece of my tooth. This is Mike Lano in scads of trouble as usual with everybody. Very little Japan news, so I'm going to let John Seaton cover that. I hope John saw the ink in a positive manner that I gave him in a couple of the sheets, including Arena. where I said he's one of the best guys going there today. So, Seton, you cover the Japan news. I want to get some things off my chest. Did you see the ridiculous USA Today article that Basil DeVito had in there talking about a new TV show to be on syndication, I believe, next summer, where it's healthy lifestyles that Vince McMahon is going to be doing. In addition to the WWF and WBF shows, they're going to be having just normal, average, everyday people who ice skate and swim and things like that as their profiles each week, with occasional Hulk Hogan and Lou Ferrigno guest spots. And now that Vince has Hulk Hogan and Lou Ferrigno in his stable, he has both Hulks. I have no idea what he still has to give commission to Marvel Comics for the Hulk Hogan gimmick, because he's no longer continuation of the Mike Lano deal in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrestling fans, as I was going to also say, we are encouraging everybody, both on my TV show Canvas Cavity and in the sheets, and now on Cassette Wrestling News, to send your dollars to save John Arizzi's Pro Wrestling Spotlight. Now, you guys all know, if it weren't for John Arizzi, Eddie Gilbert wouldn't have spilled his guts, and it wouldn't have been the lead story in all the big sheets, that whole thing in defense of Paulie Dangerously. And where did it appear? It appeared on Pro Wrestling Spotlight. So sometimes John is the lead for everything else, and things occur first on John's shows. Plus, he's able to transmit live from some of these press conferences, and I believe he does one of the better services in wrestling. I've known John for a long, long time, and I just think it's a shame that he can't fulfill and realize his dreams. I think if everybody who's benefited or enjoyed that article sent a few bucks, and everybody that's in the metropolitan area sent him some bucks, we'd keep him on the air. And in that like vein, not only should we save and help John Arizzi with money, let's buy Jeff Osborne a new answering machine that doesn't cut off in the middle of things. Just kidding, folks. The AWF Gordon Scazzari's brilliant attempt. This is a 22-year-old guy that's doing wonders. He's got everybody in the our world talking about his great show. I'll be there covering it for almost all the magazines and everything else. Saturday, December 14th. It's called Asbury Anarchy in where is that place? In Asbury Park, New Jersey. Cartel, the FMW, returning from a successful tour of the FMW Onita's group, the original Sheik, Eddie Farhat, and Sabu, against Jim Cornette's tag team of Sweet Stan Lane and Ronnie Garber. Now, didn't these guys just fight in the little independent in somewhere in the South? Oh, well, Eddie Gilbert and Tom Pritchard against the new Beach Boys, as in B-O-Y-Z, as in Boys in the Hood, Surfer Sonny Beach, and Tiger Shark Jeff Gaylord in his new outfit. Also, Hercules Ayala with manager heel Eddie Gilbert against the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. This is a battle of Puerto Rican guys. In fact, they even list Manny Fernandez as being from Puerto Rico, although I thought he was from Florida. The new Lightning Express, possibly the greatest new matchup I've heard on paper. Jeff Jarrett, fresh in from a heel turn in Memphis with Tim Horner, against the Dukes of Hazzard, managed by Boss Hogg. That'll be that big fat guy from Memphis, Cowboy Bob Orton and Barry Horowitz, and Desperado Dutch Mantel against Iron Mike Sharp. They've got all kinds of other guys, including the Cheetah Kid, Pistol Pez Watley on this show. It's just unbelievable. They have the inimitable Adrian Street, who goes way, way back with Mick McManus all through the early 70s for British wrestling. He's one of a kind, I'll put it that way. I don't care for the gay act, but he's a very capable wrestler and a real good mouthpiece, and seeing he and Linda again will be kind of fun. Danny Spivey against Sweet Stan Lane. Good stuff. Junkyard Dog and Pistol Pez Watley. Well, I spoke too soon, but against the original Sheik, the Gulf Cartel, and Sabu. That's one of the more original ideas, probably one of the better gimmicks. Now, Sabu is just amazing. As Jeff Osborne has said, he and Zukowski trained together. I believe Sabu and the Sheik trained Zukowski and some of these other guys. Sabu is just great, and I almost had him signed for All Japan with Richard Slinger and Misawa and Fuchi, but I guess FMW kind of snagged him first. Right now, Cassette Wrestling News, the editor, Mr. Osborne, was really kind of slandered in the Torch and that Jerry Lawler interview, which I think, it's again, as I criticized Jeff before, I think the editor there could have maybe left that out. It had no business. Lano Part 3 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Mike Lano with my wrestling commentary. No, I take that back. Lawler, the thing in the Torch Annual, which was a very good annual, a few typos, but a very, real good effort there. Jerry Lawler was hypocritical when he's sitting there talking about Osborne passing out the sheets. I know for a fact, and Jeff and most all the workers have told me that Osborne only passed out the sheets to the workers that asked specifically for them. Even at times in the past, Lawler got the cassette wrestling news, not the sheets at all, because Jeff simply doesn't have the money to Xerox the sheets and give them out to fans. That's the last thing he's going to do. And, unfortunately, there are some sheet editors who have passed out the sheets to regular marks in line waiting for shows, like a Goodhart show, which is probably okay because those are smarter than your average marks. But on WWF or WCW shows, I don't think things should be passed out. But Jeff Osborne's never done that at all. So that just kind of hit me the wrong way. In rating matches, when he's talking about that, most all the guys have rated matches for years. And when he's talked, also Lawler dropped Boomer Esiason's name and said something about him, he shouldn't coach or something like that, or quarterback. I can't remember the exact quote, but Lawler's never been in pro football at all. So dropping that was kind of silly. Also, Barry Orton is going to be, we're finding some attorneys for him because he feels he's legitimately been raped of his gimmick that he sent, I believe, last January or February to WCW's Jim Herd and Dusty on the Van Nilly Hammer character. He sent a tape of him, and he actually plays the guitar as well as the fact that he can wrestle, whereas Hammer can't do either one. But he sent the gimmick, that gig, to them. He's got all the proofs and everything like that, and it's similar to Mondo Guerrero sending the Matador gimmick a year and a half ago. We talked about it. He sends it to Vince, and Vince uses it now. Now, he had no proof. In this case, Barry Orton does, and watch for him to go for the throat and the jugular, and let's see how WCW responds. But that's it, wrestling fans, and so long from the peach state of Georgia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mike Lano. I want to thank everybody that's, as Harvey said, coming to bat for me. I am innocent, and there's no way I can be proven guilty because I'm not guilty. Let's get off this subject. I'm going to give the subscription rates. How about some music to go along with this, Harvey?
Sure thing, Jeff.
Okay, Cassette Wrestling
like
News.
That, huh?
Yeah. Cassette Wrestling News is not published on any set schedule. We publish about every 10 to 14 days, or whenever I'm lazy, about once a month. Subscription rates are $16 for 6 issues of CWN. Also, Video Cassette Wrestling News Volume 1 is still available for just $13. Send everything to Jeff Osborne, care of CWN, 3420 New Harmony Road, Evansville, Indiana, 47720. I'm not red lighting, guys, so be quiet. And please feel free to give me a call, especially Jerry Lawler, 812-425-5460. I don't want anything from Lawler but respect. Okay, let's move on to some more news. Kill the music. Okay, let's move on to a little bit more news here. As we said last issue, we will be playing the Dick the Bruiser interview in the upcoming issues, as well as Dennis Carluzzo. And I want to apologize for Dennis Carluzzo for not getting that interview on again. And I will be playing the rest of the Buddy Rogers interview, hopefully within the next few issues. All that's coming up on future issues of CWN. And right now, I want to talk about the WWF coming to Evansville. Sean, you went. Harvey, you didn't. I wish I wasn't there.
I have to agree with you there, Jeff. It was really a waste of my, what was it, $9? $9 to get in?
It was $10.50.
$10.50?
$10.25.
Yeah, and okay, $10.25. I was paying for 2 people. But once again, I go away disappointed. I'm tired of going to these shows and griping about it, so that is my last WWF show. Yeah, right. I'm going to go back again. I'm stupid.
Probably.
But this card was, again, turtles on roids. I'm telling you. These guys, I don't know. Flair was all right. I'm getting more and more people saying Flair's overrated. He's getting fat. He doesn't care. I don't know.
He can't do the things he did in the WWF he can't do the things in the WWF, that he did in WCW, just for the same thing that Owen Hart said in his interview. They'll restrict him too much.
That's true.
I was surprised they let him use the figure 4 since Greg Valentine already did.
Yeah, Owen Hart was...
I'm surprised they let him make some of the comments that he does.
Pretty soon they'll be scripting his interviews, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you notice, they have censored out his world belt now.
Yeah, some legal thing. I don't even give a crap about
It's
that.
got something to do with Turner. I don't know.
Turner's...
That belt, it's all his.
He paid for most of it, but anyway.
$75,000.
Let's move on here.
Yeah.
I want to apologize to Sue Shooter because my dad taped over her Australian wrestling results. But Sue, anytime you want some time on CWN, just let me know. Phone in. Let me know what you think. Sue does not like Ricky Steamboat for some reason. What are you guys talking about over there? Anyway, she does not like Rick Steamboat for some personal reason. But hey, Sue, I got to disagree with you. I think having Steamboat back in WCW is a definite plus. But if it's going to get Jim Herd signed on for another year, I hope Steamboat gets out of there.
That's right.
So do I.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
On a recent edition...
We just want Jim Herd
roughed up.
Yeah.
Come on now. On a recent edition of the Universal Wrestling Federation, headed by Herb Abrams, he advertised Rick Steamboat and the Ultimate Warrior. I was talking to John Arezzi on the phone at the time as we heard this come across the TV, and both of us just started laughing. As most of you know, that Herb Abrams is trying to buy out John Arezzi's show from underneath him, and I want to stick up for Arezzi right here. If it wasn't for Arezzi, you would not have heard Billy Graham talking. I mean, actually hear the words from his mouth. You would not have heard... I'm getting tired of saying the word heard. You would not be able to hear Eddie Gilbert go on his rampage about the Paulie being suspended thing.
And all the things he said about Missy, too.
We heard this on Cassette Wrestling News, and I want to personally ask everyone out there to send John Arezzi just $1, $2, or just a few bucks just to keep his show on the air and to keep this Herb Abrams, who is very sick. I've heard a lot of things about the UWF that I will reveal on Video Cassette Wrestling News, too. I don't want to say these on this tape due to legal action taken by Herb Abrams. However, John Seaton challenging Herb Abrams to a match last issue.
That was classic.
I'm expecting to get
Legend, as Joe would say.
some legal notice in the mail on that, but that's how it goes. Folks, the year is slowly coming to an end, and we would like your suggestions for categories in the 1991 Year-End Awards show. We had a pretty good Year-End Awards show last year with Eddie Gilbert making acceptance speeches, Joe Goodhart, as well as we had the Honky Tonk Man from John Arezzi's show. There we go again. But right now, if you have any categories that we did not cover, please feel free to send those to me. I also want to make a comment that I got 8 Continental Wrestling Federation tapes, and these are as good, if not better, than Bill Watts' UWF. The angles are so intense and so convincing. I mean, you're captivated by these shows booked by Eddie Gilbert, and
I drooled as we watched these matches, Jim.
This stuff is classic. And I want to say something else about the Clash. That was the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my life. You had Terry Taylor turning, Tommy Rich turning, something like that. The Southern...
What the hell's going on, Jeff?
I don't know. Then Teddy Long turning. I don't know who the hell was turning, but this...
I think it was Johnny B. Bad, Jeff.
I do too, but...
No, I think Teddy Long's just gone, Jeff.
I'll tell you, Dusty Rhodes is changing these guys. He's changing sides more than he changes underwear.
I was just getting ready to make that myself.
It's terrible. I think somebody's calling in a message upstairs, possibly Joe Massinio from Australia or Joel Goodhart. We hope to be hearing from both of these men by the end of this tape. I want to thank both of you guys for joining me on this tape.
No problem, Jeff.
Okay. Please stand by. We should have more wrestling in just a moment.
Vafankula wrestling fans, this is Joe from Australia with my latest offering for you. We're going to talk about USWA and how it should update its new setting. It needs a new setting badly, and Jerry Jarrett's got to spend some money. It looks like circa 1971 when it should be 1991. They need more than 3 people to show up at these damn matches so they can pay their people more than 25 cents a match. I think they've got to update the TV product, and it'll bring more people in. They need more heels. I mean, you just can't lay the shoulder of the burden on top of Eric Embry all that much. And it's basically just up to Jerry Jarrett to spend some money for a change. Just want to diverge onto Bill Dundee. A lot of people don't know the history about Bill Dundee. He began in Australia as a jobber, if you will, much to the equivalent of Mario Mancini. He was always getting creamed on television, and basically Bill got his big fame over there in the US when he came there in 75 with George Barnes and Johnny Gray. Gray at one point was our best worker and never really got the break he deserved in this country anyway. Was one half of the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, Australian Tag Team Champions at one point. Now, Jeff's been pestering me to do this imitation of Eric Embry. Now, here goes. My family. Act, boy. Told you. Look in my eyes. You see where my eyes? And cameraman, you don't tell me to shut up nothing. Don't you wind me up. This is my family we're talking about here. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't too good. Okay, that's just about it for me for now. I'll just leave you with this one message, one prophecy, if you will. If anyone calls you a sunny beach, just tell them to coal off. Goodbye, and good God.
If you're interested in coming to the TWA Winter Challenge 3 Winter Wipeout, Saturday, January 25th, 7:30 p.m. at the Center, Pennsylvania Hall, just dial 215-745-8315. In addition, on our last card, Autumn Armageddon 2, we taped card, and of course now I have a call coming in, so we'll just have to forget about that call. Autumn Armageddon 2 is now out on videotape, and the cost for the tape is $25 plus $5 shipping and handling. However, for listeners of CWN, we will waive the $5 handling, and it's just $25. Send your check or money order for $25 payable to the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, P.O. Box 57068, Philadelphia 19111. That's the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, P.O. Box 57068, Philadelphia, PA 19111. Just $25 for Autumn Armageddon. Get your tape now and get your tickets now. 215-745-8315. We'll see you here in Philly for Winter Challenge 3 Winter Wipeout. Joel Goodhart from the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Joel Goodhart. We're running very, very short on time. I wanted to thank Joe for clearing up a rumor. Joel Goodhart committed to all his previous dates before signing to the World Wrestling Federation, so he will be there in Philadelphia come January. Also, as we all know now, the Hulkster dropped the strap to The Undertaker, which leaves things wide open for Sergeant Slaughter to become the next WWF champion. And then Flair should beat Slaughter, and then looks like a retirement match with Hulk Hogan winning the belt and retiring it. So a lot of things open right there. It could change, and it probably will, but I want to thank all the people that have been on this tape: Owen Hart, Joe Goodhart, everyone else I'm forgetting. It's close to 3 or 4 in the morning, and I want to apologize for sending last issue out about 5 days late. And I'm going to try to keep everything up to date and the news fresh and all that. But I want to thank everyone out there for listening, and we want to hear from you. Please send in your audio cassette with your commentary. And hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, and hope everyone has happy holidays. I'm going to try to, folks. I want to bring you the best in interviews come 1992. And hopefully we'll have, I keep saying this, Dennis Carluzzo. I'd like to get him on Cassette Wrestling News. Of course, you know him and Joel Goodhart are competition, so to speak, up there. I respect both of these men, and I will not side with either one of them. So, anyway, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and for John Seaton, who better be here next issue, this is Jeff Osborne saying, keep your shoulders off the mat and keep reaching for the ropes.
Hey everybody, I'm Gene Jackson, and I want to introduce you to the Retro Wrestling Archive Podcast Network and the great Pro Wrestling Nostalgia podcast we bring, including the Retro Wrestling Review Series covering the USWA, Memphis Power Pro Wrestling, Continental Championship Wrestling, and we've just added World Class Championship Wrestling, and now ECW. Plus great interview shows like Beyond Wrestling with Rob Hell, where the stories go beyond the ring. Then there's Dangerous Conversations with the legendary Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich. Plus don't miss special live streams like Live from the Archive and Arc of an Angle. And the Retro Wrestling Archive Network is growing. We're proud to feature the affiliate shows like STS Pod, The Hang, Classic Pro Wrestling Talk, Get Your Bell Rung, and even more great shows are coming soon. But that's not all. Join the Retro Wrestling Archive Patreon for exclusive bonus content, early podcast releases, special extras, and access to a Google Drive that is absolutely busting at the seams with territory wrestling history, including our legendary Memphis Mega Folder. Podcast, interviews, watch-alongs, live streams, YouTube, Patreon, territory wrestling history. It's all waiting for you at RetroWrestlingArchive.club, where we're preserving pro wrestling history daily. Don't just remember it, relive it.
Attention wrestling fans, do you want to watch every WWE premium live event no matter where you are in the world? Well, I've got the ultimate tag team partner for you, Surfshark VPN. With Surfshark, you can unlock content from anywhere on the globe. What this means is no more block streams, no more restrictions, just wall-to-wall action. Imagine catching WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series live no matter what country you're in. And here's the best part. By using my affiliate link, which is tinyurl.com/ that's a backslash. It's VPN STS Talk. You'll also score an exclusive huge savings plus an extra 3 months absolutely free. That's right, 3 bonus months of unlimited access, total online privacy, and the power to stream every WWE pay-per-view like a true champion. And don't get counted out. Hit the link. It is tinyurl.com/ that's a backslash. It's VPN STS Talk. Go to that link and make sure you never miss a single second of the action again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to step in the ring with pain relief. When back pain, neck pain, and stress tries to body slam you into the mat, there's only one tag team partner you can trust.
Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. The champions of chiropractic care. With a dedicated team of professionals, they're not just adjusting spines, they're adjusting lives. Whether you're battling aches, pains, or just need to feel like a brand new you, Vitality Chiropractic has the moves to get you back on top of your game. Personalized care, effective treatments, and a commitment to your health and vitality.
You don't have to tap out to pain. Pick up the phone. Dial 870-523-2225. That is 870-523-2225, brother. And schedule your appointment today. Vitality Chiropractic serving Jonesboro and Newport. Step in the ring with pain and walk out a champion of health. Vitality Chiropractic, because your spine deserves the main event.
1, 2, 3.
Are you ready? Every Friday night, the heat rises in Arkansas. The lights go down, the crowd gets loud, and MCW takes over. This is live, hard-hitting, in your face action at the MCW Arena, West Kaiser in Osceola, Arkansas. Doors open at 6:30, bell time at 8 p.m. sharp. Rivals explode, bodies hit the mat, and the stars of MCW leave it all in the ring. This ain't just wrestling. This is MCW. Tickets on sale right now. Don't wait. Be part of the action. Follow MCW on Facebook for the latest updates. And be there every Friday night. Or hear about it later. Card subject to change. All right, folks, let's talk about something that can make everything feel a little smoother, a little better, and a whole lot more comfortable. If you're listening to STS Pod, you already know we believe in top-tier performance, and that doesn't stop when the mics go off. That's right. That's why we have been proudly sponsored for 7 years by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com. Spunk Lube Hybrid is their best-selling for a reason. Spunk Lube Hybrid is a unique water-based silicone blend that looks and feels like your body's natural lubrication. Translation, you get that skin-to-skin sensation without the sticky mess or constant reapplication. Whether it's solo time or with a partner, or you're just upgrading your overall experience, Spunk Lube Hybrid has you covered. It's non-staining, made for sensitive skin, and cleans up easily because nobody wants extra work afterwards. Got toys, condoms, no problem. Spunk Lube Hybrid is fully compatible with sex toys, condoms, and more. And here's the good stuff. It's made in the USA, backed by 15 years of trust, and it ships discreetly as your business stays. Well, it stays your business. That's right. Right now, STS Pod listeners can get 10% off when you use the promo code STS Pod at checkout. That's STS Pod. STSPOD for 10% off Spunk Lube Hybrid, the best selling for a reason. Feel better, move better, enjoy more, because friction, well, it's for bad podcasts, not for real life. This episode is also brought to you by Bear. Eat better, live better. These guys are the best meal prep company in Northeast Arkansas. So get 15% off with our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. That's 15% off. Use our code STSPodClub at bear870.com. Trust Bear for your meal prep needs in Northeast Arkansas. Eat better, live better. Bear. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash App us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free, that's right, a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, thanks for joining us for another great episode of Shooting the Shiznut. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. Remember, you can go to stspod.club, link of all links, and get all our links. That's right, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Memphis Wrestling YouTube, Facebook, everything, and many, many more right there, including our sponsors. And remember, all episodes are at one place, and that's stspod.club. Now, how about our podcast roll call? Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony. Po Boys podcast with my old buddy Jody B. P3 Radio with Josh and Richard. Gene Jackson has a trio of shows I listen to every week. It's Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert, the Retro Wrestling Podcast Archives, and search the Retro Wrestling Review Show. It's a USWA podcast with Gene Jackson and Richard and Josh from P3 Radio. Hey guys, thanks again. And remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.